Hi there, purposeful people. My name's Rachel and welcome to my channel. So I'm really excited to be filming a sit-down video with you all and explaining how I take my sermon notes. This is something that has been extremely beneficial to me, and so I just want to share my tools with you. And so I've actually created a free printable, and you can find this in the description of this video. It should take you to a link to a PDF, and there you can download the PDF and print it for free. In this video, I'm just going to be explaining how I go about taking my sermon notes and how I've broken it down on this free printable. And if you use this printable, please tag me in any posts on Instagram at madewithpurposeyt, because I would love to see how you guys are benefiting from this printable that I've created for you. This is the whole goal, is to just help you all through my channel, and so that is what I'm trying to do, and I wanted to make a free resource to really just help you in your walk. And you can print as many of these as you want. You could print out a whole bunch, hole punch them all on the side, and then tie ribbon around it and create a little booklet, a little journal to take with you to church each and every Sunday. And so you'll just have a little book of sermon notes that you can just look back on and reflect on and just grow so much from. So I'm just super excited to see where God takes this, and I am so excited to watch you all grow through this printable. I have found when taking sermon notes that I benefit so immensely from taking notes. Like, not only do I stay engaged and focused throughout the whole sermon, but I remember the content and the information learned way better than I do when I just listen to a sermon. I am an avid note taker, and if you've been on my channel for a while now, you will know that about me. I highly encourage you to take notes whenever you can. So this instance is no different, and I'm encouraging you to grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and take sermon notes, because you can look back on them and reflect on them, and it sticks in your brain better than you just listening to it. And so I'm just really excited to share my own tips with you. So now I'm just going to break down this printable, and hopefully you've got your printable in hand and you can follow along, and we're just going to go through this together. First, I have the title of the sermon. Many preachers like to title their sermons, and if not, you can create a title that you think best encapsulates the sermon that you just listened to. And then I have the spot for the pastor's name and then the date, so you can look back on it and see when the sermon was given, what season of life you were in. It's just super fun to look back on those sorts of things. Then we jump into the first section, and so this is scripture, and so here you can write just the references to scripture. For instance, if you were doing a sermon over John 3:30, you just put John 3:30. Or you could write out the whole entire verse of scripture. So John 3:30 says, "He must increase, but I must decrease." So you could write that whole passage of scripture and the reference, or just the reference. Whatever you feel is most beneficial. I know sometimes sermons can cover a wide range of scripture, and it can be very hard to copy all of that down verbatim. Here you have the option to write it all down or write just the references. And my pastor likes to reference a lot of different scripture throughout his sermon, so sometimes I'll jot down other references that he makes in the middle of his sermon so I can look back on them later. The next big section I have is the summary. So here I encourage you to write down whatever sticks out to you most, whatever are the main ideas, the main concepts of his sermon, the background on the sermon, background information that you need to know about the scripture, the context of the scripture, the authors, whatever is happening in this scripture that is a main bullet point that you need to make note of, whatever key themes or ideas are being expressed, whatever lessons are learned, even like quotes from my pastor. I like to write down what if he says something that is just like amazing and I want to remember it, I will write down his quotes and then look back on them. And you could also do this if they reference other people's quotes. There's a lot they could put down for summary, and so it doesn't have to be this crazy extreme thing, but as long as you have a few main points jotted down, and it doesn't have to be like paragraph form, it can just be bullet points. That's what I like to do. I like to do all of this in bullet points, and then I can quickly look back on it later. And then if you flip it over, I've left you some extra room on the back in case your summary runs a little over, because mine always does. I write a lot down for the summary. That is like the main section that I write a ton in. Then the next section I have is I thank God for ... And so this is the part of the sermon. It's kind of a reflection after the sermon is over. You may do this at home, but this is the part where I like to think about the sermon that I just listened to, that I just learned about, and then I like to think, based on that sermon, what can I thank God for today? And so I base all of this on scripture, I base it on what I've just learned, what God has revealed to me. And so I just jot down little things that I'm thankful for and that I thank God for that day. And so I think this is very beneficial, and I think this is a key part to taking sermon notes, that you are fully digesting it and thanking God and praising Him throughout. You don't want it to just be this mindless note-taking, but you want to actually be praising God while you're taking these notes. And so I think that is one key part that you shouldn't leave out. And then I just have how I can apply this to my life. And so this is another crucial part to sermon notes. You don't want to just witness the sermon, listen to it, and then leave the church doors and nothing has changed. You want to leave the church doors as a better Christian. You want to look more like Jesus after you've heard this sermon. And so here I encourage you to write down what you can do, what action steps you can take to reflect Jesus better based on what this sermon has taught you. So you can just jot down a few things that you're going to change in your life, that you're going to be better at, how you're going to reflect Jesus this week. And so I really like to do that in my sermon notes so that I'm not just mindlessly listening to the sermon and doing nothing about it. I don't want it to go in one ear and out the other. I want to actually benefit from it. And so that is a crucial step as well. And so I want you to just really digest this printable that I've made for you. I really hope that it helps somebody out there. There's not very many resources on how to take sermon notes. I remember looking for videos on how to take sermon notes, and there were like none, at least like a year ago when I was in a place where I wanted to start taking them. And so I really hope this will help you all and impact your journey with Christ. And let me know how you like it. I'm just so excited for you all to get your hands on this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!